Good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of Talking Business with the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Barbados, or ICAB. I'm Lisa Padmore, CEO of ICAB. Last week, we walked through the personal income tax return at a general level, focusing mainly on employees and pensioners. Today's episode continues that conversation and is specifically for self-employed persons, especially those who earn income in their own name and are not operating through a company. Before we continue, this episode assumes that you listened to last week's program, where we covered pages 1 through 3 of the personal income tax return. Those pages, which deal with personal details, residency, employment income, pensions, and other income, also apply fully to self-employed persons. If you missed last week's episode, you can find a recording on ICAP's social media pages at YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Let us start with who is considered self-employed. For income tax purposes, the Income Tax Act of Barbados treats income from business or profession as taxable income. If you operate as a sole trader, work as a freelancer or independent contractor, earn professional fees in your own name, or run a small business that is not incorporated, then you are considered self-employed and taxed under the personal income tax system. Most self-employed persons will need to complete applicable sections of pages 4 through 8 of the personal income tax return. These pages capture your business income and your business expenses, and your net profit or loss for the year. Under the Income Tax Act, income from business is taxed on net profit, not on gross receipts, which is why these pages are so important. Business income includes all amounts earned during the year from your self-employment activities. This includes cash payments, checks, electronic transfers, and any other form of payment for goods or services. If no tax was deducted when you were paid, that income is still taxable under the law and must be reported in your return. The Income Tax Act allows self-employed persons to deduct reasonable and necessary expenses incurred in earning income. Common examples include office and business supplies, internet and phone expenses used for business, professional fees, vehicle expenses related to business use, rent or utilities for business premises. Only expenses that are directly related to earning your income should be claimed. Maintaining good records during the year makes preparing your return much easier. After deducting allowable expenses, the return calculates your net business profit or loss. If you made a profit, it becomes a part of your taxable income. If you made a loss, that loss may reduce your overall taxable income, depending upon your circumstances. This approach is consistent with how the Income Tax Act measures income from business activities. Now, an important reminder for self-employed persons. Unlike employees, tax is not deducted automatically from your income. As a self-employed individual, you're required to make quarterly tax payments during the year. These payments are based on your prior year's tax liability and are administered by the Barbados Revenue Authority, or the BRA, using the Tax Administration Management Information System, or TAMIS. If you made your quarterly tax payments in TAMIS, they will appear on the final page of your personal income tax return. Just like PAYE, these payments are credited against your total tax liability, and they reduce the amount of tax you may still owe. At the end of the return, TAMIS will show whether you have additional tax to pay or whether you are due a refund. If tax is still payable after your quarterly payments are applied, it must be paid to the BRA by April 30th, 2026. If you are due a refund, make sure your bank account details are entered in your TAMIS profile, as refunds are issued electronically. If you require assistance, the BRA is still offering free clinics across the island this month, with the final set of clinics to be held on April 25th, 2026. Locations for the remaining clinics are available at www.bra.gov.bb. You may also wish to consult a qualified member of ICAB, particularly if your business income or expenses are more complex. Filing your tax return as a self-employed person requires careful attention, but understanding these sections helps you remain compliant and avoid penalties. Before we conclude, I wish to bring to your attention that the Barbados Revenue Authority issued a guidance note on Monday afternoon outlining the treatment of personal income tax calculations for income year 2026. By way of reminder, in the 2026 budget, the Honourable Minister of Finance announced a 1% point reduction across each tier of personal income tax rates. The guidance note confirms that these revised rates apply to income year 2026. However, it does not explicitly define the term income year, which has led to some ongoing uncertainty. In the context of personal income tax, the income year generally refers to the calendar year, January 1st to December 31st, whereas for corporation income tax, The income year corresponds to the entity's financial reporting period. A copy of the guidance note is available on the BRA's website at www.bra.gov.bb. I'm Lisa Padmore, and this has been Talking Business with ICAB.